Welcome, everyone. Every year, we see the same things again and again. Red hearts, roses, chocolates, romantic messages, and people wishing each other Happy Valentine's Day. But have you ever stopped and asked yourself one simple question? What is Valentine's Day actually about? Where did it really come from? Why is love celebrated on February 14th? And is this day only for couples? Or is there a deeper meaning hidden beneath it all? Because behind the flowers and gifts, there is a real human story. A story of courage, a story of sacrifice, a story of love that refused to obey fear. This is not just a holiday. This is the story of a man who chose love when love was forbidden. And as you listen, you're not just learning history. You're improving your English through emotional storytelling, simple language, and real events. So if you enjoy learning English through powerful, true stories, make sure to follow this channel. Because here, stories are not just told, they are felt. Let's travel back nearly 1,800 years, the Roman Empire. Around 250 AD, Rome was powerful, vast, and feared, but it was not peaceful. Wars were constant. Enemies surrounded the empire. Soldiers were needed. Strong, fearless, loyal soldiers. The emperor at that time was Claudius II. He believed he had discovered a dangerous truth. Married men were weak. In his mind, soldiers who had wives and families were distracted. They thought about home. They feared death. They wanted to live. So he made a brutal decision. Marriage was banned. No soldier in the Roman army was allowed to marry. Love became illegal. Commitment became a crime. Young couples suffered in silence. Dreams were crushed quietly. Love was whispered in shadows. But one man refused to accept this world. His name was Valentine. Valentine was not a warrior, not a general, not a politician. He was a Christian priest living in Rome, at a time when Christianity itself was forbidden. Valentine believed marriage was sacred. He believed love was a gift from God. And he believed no ruler had the right to destroy it. So when couples came to him in fear, he did not turn them away. At night, by candlelight, in hidden places, Valentine married them in secret. No music, no guests. Only vows, only faith, only love. The whispers spread. Hope returned. Until the empire found him. Valentine was arrested during a secret wedding. The couple escaped. He stayed. He was dragged through the streets and thrown into prison. When Claudius II confronted him, Valentine spoke calmly. Love does not come from your laws. Love comes from God. The emperor gave him a choice: obey or die. Valentine chose love. Prison was cold, dark, silent. But Valentine did not change. He prayed. He comforted prisoners. He spoke gently to the guards. The jailer, often called Asterius, noticed something different about him. The jailer had a daughter. She was blind since birth. One day she met Valentine. He described the world to her: the sky, the sun, flowers, colors. She listened. She imagined light for the first time. Valentine prayed for her, and, according to legend, she could see. History cannot prove every detail, but the story survived because it mattered. Before his execution, Valentine wrote a final letter to her. He signed it with 4 simple words: "From your Valentine." In the year 269 AD, Valentine was executed. Quietly, without honor, without ceremony. But his story refused to die. Years later, Emperor Constantine the Great legalized Christianity. Stories once whispered were now spoken aloud. Valentine was remembered as a martyr, a protector of love. The church honored him as Saint Valentine. February 14th became his day. During the Middle Ages, people believed birds chose their mates in mid-February. Love filled nature. Writers connected this season with Valentine's sacrifice. In the 1300s, poet Geoffrey Chaucer wrote about love and Saint Valentine, spreading the idea across Europe. People began writing handwritten valentines. Words mattered more than gifts. In 1415, a prisoner named Charles, Duke of Orleans, wrote a Valentine poem to his wife from jail, a letter that still exists today. The 1800s changed everything. Printing became cheap. Cards were mass-produced. In America, Esther Howland popularized commercial Valentine cards. Soon came chocolates, flowers, jewelry, marketing. Love became visible and profitable. Some criticized it, some embraced it. But one truth remained: the world still wanted love. Different cultures celebrate differently. In Japan, chocolates. In Korea, multiple love days. In Mexico, friendship and love. In the Philippines, mass weddings. Even where it was once banned, love found a way. Because love always does. Valentine's Day was never about money. It was never about brands. It was never about pressure. It began with one man in one prison who believed love should never be illegal. That belief lives today. So when you see hearts and flowers, remember, love is brave. Love is sacred. Love is worth choosing, even when the world says no. Valentine's Day is no longer just a cultural tradition. Today, it is also a global event. In many countries, billions of dollars are spent every year on this single day. Flowers are ordered weeks in advance. Restaurants are fully booked. Advertisements fill our screens. Love has become something the world talks about loudly. But here is the question most people never ask. Has love lost its meaning, or has it simply changed its language? Because while the world focuses on couples, Valentine's Day has slowly grown into something bigger. It is no longer only about romance. For a long time, people believed Valentine's Day was only for couples. If you were single, the day felt uncomfortable, lonely, awkward. But that idea is changing. Today, many people celebrate Valentine's Day differently. Some celebrate self-love. They take time for themselves. They rest. They heal. They remind themselves that they matter. Some celebrate friendship. They give cards to friends. They thank people who stood by them during hard times. Some celebrate family love. Parents give chocolates to children. Children write notes for parents. Love is no longer locked inside romance. And in a strange way, this brings Valentine's Day closer to its original meaning. Because Valentine himself did not die for romance alone. He died for love in all its forms. In today's world, love looks different. We send messages instead of letters, emojis instead of poems, voice notes instead of handwritten cards. A single sentence sent on a phone can travel faster than any letter Valentine ever wrote. Some say this makes love weaker. Others say it makes love more accessible. But one thing is clear. People still want to be seen. They still want to be chosen. They still want to be loved. Even now, people write "from your Valentine," sometimes as a joke, sometimes as a habit, sometimes without knowing where it came from. Yet the words remain powerful. We live in a world full of rules, expectations, pressure. We are told who to love, how to love, when to love, and sometimes not to love at all. But Valentine's story reminds us of something important. Love is not controlled by power. Love does not follow fear. Love does not disappear because it is forbidden. Love survives in silence. Love survives in darkness. Love survives in prison cells. And sometimes love changes history. Valentine did not have flowers. He did not have gifts. He did not have a celebration. What he had was courage. The courage to protect others, the courage to stand alone, the courage to choose love over life. That is why his story lasted longer than the Roman Empire, longer than emperors, longer than laws. Empires fall, but love stays. Remember this. Valentine's Day is not about how much you spend. It is not about expensive dinners. It is not about proving anything to the world. It is about intention. It is about choosing kindness over cruelty, connection over fear, love over silence. Whether you are in love, heartbroken, single, or still searching, this day belongs to you too, because love was never meant to be limited. A long time ago, a man wrote a simple letter in a prison cell. He did not know the future. He did not know the impact. He only knew one thing: love is worth everything. And that belief is the real heart of Valentine's Day.